A massive 6 feet 8 inches heavyweight, 270 pounds of pure intimidation, flexing his tree trunk arms as the crowd gasps. Across from him stands someone who barely reaches his chest, a compact warrior at 5 feet 6 inches, weighing half as much. Everyone's laughing, pulling out phones to record what they think will be the shortest fight ever. But what happens next will shatter everything you think you know about strength and combat.
Попался Владислав. Уже его не отпускают. Огромная, громадная физическая сила. Видимо, надо сдаться. Лег всем весом. Лег всем весом. И душит своего соперника Алексей Фаркада. Блогер.
The mountain meets lightning. Marcus. The mountain. Thompson has built his career on pure intimidation. 23 wins, 21 knockouts, all against opponents who crumbled before his overwhelming presence. Tonight feels different, though. Tonight he's facing Jake Lightning Rodriguez, and something about Jake's calm confidence is unsettling. The bell rings. Marcus charges like a freight train, throwing a massive overhand right that would end most fights. But Jake isn't there anymore. He's slipped the punch by inches, and before Marcus can recover, Jake unleashes a lightning combination that finds the sweet spot below the giant's ribs. The crowd's laughter dies instantly. "Use your kicks! Leg kicks! Destroy them legs!" someone shouts, and Jake adjusts perfectly. What follows is a systematic breakdown of the giant. Each kick lands like a baseball bat hitting wood. Marcus's stance crumbles as Jake chops away at his foundation. Then it happens. Jake times a perfect uppercut as Marcus throws a desperate haymaker. 8 inches of travel, but perfect timing and technique. The 270-pound giant lifts off his feet before crashing to the canvas like a falling tree. The venue erupts. Half the crowd cheers wildly, while the other half sits stunned, watching their preconceptions about size shatter like glass. The gym reality check. But size delusions don't only happen in fighting rings. Sometimes the biggest shocks occur in everyday gyms where assumptions meet brutal reality. A seemingly average guy, 5 feet 8 inches and 170 pounds, loads a barbell that makes the gym go silent. 400 pounds of iron groans under its own weight. The biggest guys in the gym, the ones used to being the strongest, can't believe their eyes. "Those weights are fake, right?" one demands, his ego threatened by what he's witnessing. "There's no way you can lift 400 pounds, you're half our size." But when the smaller lifter demonstrates his technique, 15 years of perfected form making enormous weight look effortless, those assumptions crumble. The big guys stand speechless as someone they dismissed proves that technique trumps size every single time. Wait, if stories like this blow your mind, you need to subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell because we drop jaw-dropping David versus Goliath content every week. Trust me, what's coming next will shock you even more.
How'd you do that?
Sorry for the bothering, guys, but it's maybe you pranked me or what.
No, you prank us.
The 7-foot nightmare. Dmitry the Tower. Volkov stands 7 feet tall, 350 pounds of intimidation.
Good.
His wingspan touches both sides of the octagon simultaneously. He's built his entire career around freakish physical dimensions, using reach and mass to overwhelm opponents before they can mount any offense. Tonight he faces Carlos El Rayo Santos, 5 feet 4 inches, 145 pounds. The size difference is so extreme that spectators express genuine safety concerns. Online forums buzz with outrage about sanctioning such a mismatch. But Carlos has spent his career specializing in giant killing. While others avoided big men, Carlos hunted them, developing techniques that transform every advantage into weakness. The 7-foot nightmare crashes unconscious to the canvas as 16,000 spectators witness the impossible.
Super heavyweight fighter gets crushed by a far smaller fighter.
40-pound Fred Floyd, who goes right after him. Wow! Fister just flying all over, a knee to the side. Both these fighters going all out. They are not going to grapple in this one. Both fighters going in. Now a start of martial arts in Japan. Right now, what a fight we have going on here. The fourth fight. All fighters of martial arts. Boxing going at it right now. This blur and this crowd is in.
Sumner, the 400-pound demolition. In Japan's underground circuit, Floyd, the bulldozer Mitchell, represents the ultimate in-size advantage. 400 pounds of crushing dominance. He's never lost because no one has possessed the speed to avoid his suffocating embraces. Fred, Lightning Mayweather, weighs 180 pounds. The mismatch appears comedic until the fight begins and Fred demonstrates what happens when perfect technique meets overwhelming size.
Either by knockout or submission. And right now, Igor going away with the right hooks. This time with the left, he is tapped out. Fred Floyd has said he's had enough. This match.
Тихо, тихо. Оп, оп, оп. Пошел газ. Никто не впрягается. Никто не впрягается. Хорош.
Нормально.
Nachi, the female fighter's folly. Sometimes overconfidence leads to self-destruction. A heavyweight female fighter enters the ring convinced her size guarantees easy victory. But martial arts have a way of humbling those who rely solely on physical attributes. What should be her moment of dominance becomes a lesson in how technique and preparation matter more than intimidating appearance. The fight ends not with her overwhelming a smaller opponent, but with her own overconfidence leading to a spectacular knockout that she essentially delivers to herself. Dryarts, the ultimate muscle-head reality. Check. Our final story features the classic gym bully. All muscle, zero technique. He's spent years believing his impressive physique makes him invincible in any physical confrontation. Tonight, someone half his size is about to teach him the difference between looking strong and being skilled. The muscle head flexes and postures, confident his intimidating presence will end things quickly. But his opponent has something no amount of muscle can provide: years of technical training and the mental toughness that comes from facing adversity. What follows is a masterclass in how real fighting skills demolish gym-built confidence. Every muscle the bully has built becomes useless against someone who understands leverage, timing, and technique. The fight ends with the muscle head unconscious, his entire worldview shattered along with his inflated ego. Chakri, the truth about size versus skill. These incredible upsets reveal fundamental truths about combat and human performance. Size and strength are just tools, but without proper technique and mental preparation, they're often useless against someone who understands how to exploit their weaknesses. The smaller fighters in these stories succeeded because they developed superior technique through dedicated training, built mental toughness by constantly facing larger opponents, understood how to use physics and leverage to their advantage, remained calm under pressure while their opponents panicked. Meanwhile, the larger fighters failed because they relied solely on physical intimidation, never developed technical skills, panicked when their size advantage proved ineffective, had never faced real adversity in competition. The psychology of David versus Goliath. These encounters represent more than just physical contests. They're battles of mindset and preparation. The Giants entered convinced their size guaranteed victory, but when that intimidation failed, they had no backup plan. Their entire identity crumbled along with their confidence. The smaller fighters, however, had been underdogs their entire careers. They developed not just the technical skills to overcome size disadvantages, but the mental fortitude to remain focused when facing seemingly impossible odds. The final lesson. In a world obsessed with bigger being better, These stories remind us that skill, preparation, and mental toughness will always triumph over size alone. Whether in combat sports, weightlifting, or any physical endeavor, technique and dedication consistently defeat genetics and intimidation. The next time you see a David facing Goliath, remember these stories. Sometimes the smallest warrior carries the biggest heart, and sometimes the most humble appearance hides the most devastating skills. These incredible upsets happen more often than you think. If you want to see more jaw-dropping moments where skill destroys size, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We're constantly finding the most shocking David versus Goliath encounters in combat sports, and you don't want to miss a single knockout that proves size isn't everything. Drop a comment below. Which upset shocked you the most?